It's a piece of pie. It's just a job of work. This is my business, my profession. It's a way that I support my family. I love the business. I like the people. I am not what is called a career director.
How did you come to the movie pictures, I may say so?
By train.
I think he's probably the greatest storyteller in the business. Can't get his pipe on his mantelpiece for the awards, critic and academy, that have been given to him for his work. He's made all sorts of pictures, but he's, I think, the first director to ever develop the Western to its true classic state. Has a feeling for the pioneer American and the ability to express it to the eye of the camera. To him, nothing is impossible.
What have you done before making movie pictures?
I am trying to think. I was a cowboy.
When and where?
Arizona. Then before that, I went to school.
Yes.
I got out of school and went west. Finally drifted to Hollywood. Got into the singer state ever since 1960.
What did you think you would achieve when you made your first pictures?
I thought I would achieve a check for money. That's all I thought about.
Mr. Ford, although you've won 4 Academy Awards and 4 Critics Awards for your pictures, Stagecoach did not win one for you. How come?
Well, Dave, I think in Hollywood, we are very, very particular about the Academy Awards. We try to be very, very just. The year that Stagecoach was up for the award, Gone with the Wind was sort of the main contender, and the consensus of opinion was that it was a better picture, and I quite agree. Duke was an undergraduate at USC when I first saw him. He was young Duke then, now he's old Duke. He was our prop man, or third assistant prop man, during his summer vacations. I asked him what he wanted to do, what he was studying for. Was he taking pre-med, pre-legal? And he said, oh, he wanted to be a director. So eventually he drifted into small parts and into bigger ones, and when the story of Stagecoach came along, I said I'd like to have Duke for it.
Can you tell me about the incredible story of your filming the Battle of the Midway?
What is incredible about it?
You running out there with a camera under direct attack.
I did what?
That you were taking shots yourself and directing shots while the place was literally part of the place was under attack. And they ran a flag up. A Marine ran out and actually ran a flag up, the American flag, while the place was literally being blasted to hell.
Well, that's what I was getting paid for. I am really a coward. I know I am. So that's why I did foolish things. And I was decorated 8 or 9 times, trying to prove that I was not a coward. But after it's all over, I still know that I was a coward. Anyone's ever worked with me, is always anxious to come back and work with me again. I never stand behind the camera and yell directions. I go up and I speak to each actor individually, sotto voce, so the others don't hear, and everything is thoroughly rehearsed, and I try to get the first take. And they say directors being hard on actors. Those directors don't usually last very long in pictures. I like to make westerns because I get away from Hollywood for a while. You get out in the wilds, you get fresh air in your lungs, you work hard, you sleep well at night, you're hungry, you have a good appetite, you're working with nice people. Because these cowboys, these people who work in westerns are wonderful, wonderful people. They're very hard workers, they do what they're told, and it's a pleasure, it's fun.
Now, the Irish to us have a reputation for being leisurely. How did you find with the schedule of this film on occasion?
Well, quite the reverse. As a matter of fact, we did the picture in 4.5, 5 weeks and suddenly announced that we'd finished, and, well, the British crews were quite amazed. They said, we usually work much longer than this. We're quite put out. Quite bad. And they're very, very hard workers, actually. The Irish are supposed to be leisurely.
Yeah, I always thought they were.
I'm Irish, and I'm supposed to be the fastest director in pictures. One of the trouble with directors and universally is they'll make a big picture, make probably a hit, and then they try to top it, and usually fall flat on their face. It happens here a lot, and I know it happens with you. So I try to make it a rule, if you make a big picture, which is a hit, the next one, do a cheap picture, relax, 3 or 4 weeks, while you're preparing for another story. And usually, of course, to my mind, the little picture is always better. See, my favorite picture, for example, is one you've never heard of, called The Sun Shines Bright.
Do you think the early settlers would have been proud of the America we have today?
What does that got to do with films?
Because a lot of people, for right or wrong, regard you as one of the foremost, if not the foremost, chronicler of American history.
Hence the question?
Hence the question.
Well, right now, I think they'd be bloody well ashamed of us.
Secret of direction. There's no secret about direction except good common sense and a belief in what you're doing. In our day, direction came by instinct. Most of the young directors are obsessed by the camera. Instead of looking at the people, they look at the camera. The secret is in people's faces, in their eye expressions, in their movements.
You have lived almost the whole of the American history of the movie picture.
True.
When you look back, what do you feel about it? What do you feel about the way it was done?
Well, if I wanted to live my life over again, I would still do the same thing.